اوكي. اليوم غادي نحاولوا نجاوبوا على day 2 rock paper scissors من advent of code ديال 2022. So كما درنا مع day 1 this should be pretty similar. نحاولوا نقراو problems، نحاولوا نلقاو solutions. كما قلنا هاد البروبلمز ما كيكونوش very algorithmically difficult، ولكن غنحاولوا نخدموا شويه ديال الراس في هادشي هذا and see how it goes. So this problem كيقول لك again كيبدا بواحد lengthy description. the elves غيديروا شي حاجه. okay, so there is a rock. خصنا نعرفوا ان there is a rock paper scissors games. انا ما غنقراش هادشي كامل حيت انا عاد قريت البروبلم دابا. So I'll try to digest the problem for you. So let's suppose that there's a strategy, right? And غادي نعطيك واحد اللوغ نتاع واحد الجيم تلعبات ديال rock paper scissors. غنقولوا لك انت شنو لعبتي وواحد adversary ديالك شنو لعب, and depending على داكشي اللي تلعب you should tell us شنو هو your total score at the end. هاد السكورين هذا كيتعطى following a certain rules. So to make it easier to understand, let's go through an example. So الانبوت ديالنا كيكون على الشكل ديال A, B, C, A or like multiple lines. كل line فيهم two characters. Could be on the left could be either A, B or C. On the right could be either X, Y or Z. So A, B, C can represent rock, B paper, C scissors. Same for X rock, Y paper and Z scissors. So we get some scoring, like كل line هنا يعني match. So هذا يلعب rocks وهذا يلعب paper. Since rocks خسر oh, so this is your opponent, right? So هذا هو الopponent ديالك. So الopponent ديالك غيلعب rock. انت you should choose paper, right? And since this ends in a win for you, you'll get 8 points. انت Y هو A. انت غتلعب Y اللي هي paper وهو غيلعب A اللي هي rock. paper كتغلب rock. in this case غتاخد 8 نقاط. مين كتجيب 8 نقاط so كل مرة كتغلب كتاخد 6 نقاط. الا تعادلتي كتاخد 3 نقاط, وإلا خسرتي كتاخد 0 ديال النقاط. and then for each one اللي كتلعب, مثلا الا لعبتي ورقة غادي تكون نعطيك 1 point. no, لعبتي rock. there's a game here. A for rock, B for paper. The second column, 1 can attack 1 point for rock, 2 for paper and 3 for scissors. هادو نقاط كيتزادو depending on شمن hand لعبتي. So for this game, Scott computer like A versus Y. هنا عطتنا 8 نقاط. لعبنا أنا لعبت X which is I chose rock وهو خدا paper. سكيف هو غلب. سكيف أنا مخديش حتى شي نقطة من غير النقطة ديال البيس اللي لعبت اللي هي 1 for the rock. And the third round is a draw. لحقاش كاين both players are choosing scissors. في حالة الكيس هذا C and Z, ولكن since it's a draw غيعطيني 3 نقاط, right? زائد 3 نقاط اللي حيت أنا اختاريت scissors then 6 نقاط. so 6 زائد 8 زائد 1 غتعطينا 15 in this case. So the game is kind of like pretty standard. Basically convert هاد الرولز هادو اللي قلت لك أنا convert them into code and we'll try to do just that. أنا قبل الفيديو again I went ahead and created like the day 2 sample text. So if we look into the day 2 sample غتلقاني كوبيت داكشي ديال sample اللي عطاونا. And I created a day 2 file here so that we can use it for the while coding, and it only has like f and main. It doesn't have anything else. So غنحاولوا نديروا exactly شنو قالوا لنا تما. Again, like nothing here is algorithmic. حتى البارسين ما غاديش يكون صعيب حيت عندنا just lines and 2 tokens per line. Alright, but how to solve this? Like إلا لاحظتوا كاين multiple a lot of states. Like نقدر أنا نلعب حجرة ويلعب ورقة، نقدر أنا نلعب ورقة ويلعب حجرة. And for each one of these خصني نcompute like what's the output، شنو هو السكور، شكون غلب، وخصني also نcompute اشنا هي ال value دي على حسب الهاند اللي لعبت أنا. So what I'm suggesting to do is like ما كيكون عندنا like multiple states and the states themselves can be are pretty small and can be represented by integers. We can use a trick. Like if you look at it, you can look at you can think of a table, right? Right? Rock, paper, scissors, and then here rock, paper, scissors, right? If I write a table here, هنا شنو لعبت أنا، هنا شنو لعب هو, right? إذا لعبت أنا rock وهو لعب rock, in that case the game is a draw. بجوج بينا غناخذ 3. إذا لعبت أنا rock وهو لعب paper, then هو غلب, دونك أنا ما ناخذ 1 والو. إذا لعبت أنا rock وهو لعب scissors, أنا غنربح 6. So you see, like if we just put had all the possible combination in a table that is pre-computed, it'd be very easy in احنا نموفي from actual state into outcome بلا ما نديرو بزاف نتاع nested if else statements. So again, like نحاولوا نماتيرياليزيو هذا table. So if I play a paper في الكيس ديالي هو لعب روك, انا غنغلب. إلا لعبنا بجوج بيبر غنتعادلو. otherwise إلا لعب هو scissors كيغلب هو. إلا لعبت أنا scissors هو لعب روك أنا كنخسر. إلا لعبت أنا scissors هو لعب paper أنا كنغلب. إلا لعبنا بجوج scissors كنتعادلو, right? And the value نتاع كل بيس غنزيدوها من بعد normal compute ال value نتاع الجيم, right? So أنا شنو غندير, غنكري a small structure and call it a move. And a move only has a string, وهي اش من move لعبتي في هذا, واش R P ولا S, right? واش R P ولا S. And then I'll have like I'll create another struct and I'll call it like a play, right? Or like a hand. ما عرفت شنو كيسميوها شنو اسمها, but let's call it just a play. And a play is just what I played. شنو هي الموف اللي لعبت انا وشنو هي الموف اللي لعب هو. And this is all we need to know باش to compute a score. So play إلا بغينا الميثود اللي بغينا احنا في play هي شنو بغينا نشوفو score, right? This is all we want to know, right? Mute, we just take self and compute score here. For now, نديرو 0, right? And we need to create this move from something, and the move is just the move itself should have. احنا شنو باغيين نعرفو, كل move بغيناها تعطينا two things. بغينا تعطينا an index. شنو هو الاندكس ديالها في داك التيبل, right? وبغيناها تعطينا the value, right? So the index in the table depending on the type of the move. And the value, same here, value in the table, not in the table, value of the piece, depending on its type, right? So شنو هو الاندكس? Let's try and figure out شنو هو الاندكس. So إلا لاحظتوا عندنا A, B, C, عندنا كل character, like if I do self, right, that's 0, which is like the actual value as stir, and I match on this, right? إلا كان عندي let's do this. إلا كان عندي A واللي عندي X, في هذا الكيس هذا index يكون هو 0 في التيبل. إذا كان عندي b or y index يكون عندي هو 1. إذا كان عندي z ولا actually z ولا c index يكون هو 2. Otherwise if I match anything else this shouldn't be a possibility, so I'm gonna panic, right? So إذا كان عندي a ولا x في هذا الكيس الاندكس يكون هو 0. إذا كان عندي b ولا y تكون هي 1. إذا كانت عندي c ولا z تكون هي 2, right? So let's do the same for value should be similar, right? حيث إذا كنت a ولا x تعطيني 1 b ولا y تعطيني 2 c ولا z تعطيني 3, right? على حسب داكشي اللي عندنا في problem statement. And if you see this is just this plus 1, right? So we can just do this. Do self.index plus 1 باش بلا ما نعاودو داكشي. اوكي. So شنو هو السكور ديالي اذا؟ قبل ما نمشي خصني نكري هاد التيبل هادي. So let's create the table. Me ولا him versus me or me versus him. To make it super obvious. وهذا غيكون u size of size 3 times, right? كتساوي whatever this. So 306 630 انا غير كنكوبي الطابلو اللي كان فوق 063, right? So انا هو rows, me rows, him columns. هو غيندكسي انا غنندكسي rows وهو غيندكسي بالcolumns. Or is it the reverse? Actually it's the reverse. Me is columns, right? And it doesn't matter. Let's say it doesn't matter actually. In this case it doesn't really matter. So let's just say game table. I don't think it matters in this case. Right. Alright, so score نتاع كل play شنو هو؟ If we construct the play, so شنو هي ذاك الجيم table, right? نتا شنو لعبت انا هو self.me.index, right? that شنو لعب هو هذه هي الفاليو plus self.b.game that not game but that value. شنو هي الفاليو ديالي انا؟ هذا هو السكور, right? And another thing that we need here إلا بغينا to make our code slightly cleaner we would like to create a play. احنا بغينا نكريو play من string if we can. So we can like let's try and write this first. So we can create content, right? Define content هو fs كي نديرو كيما درنا في episode 1 read to string which will give me like n day 1.sample.txt, right? Dot of course unwrap because we know the file exists. And now هذا كيعطينا an actual content, but to make it easier for me I'll create something called a cursor. A cursor is a nice struct, handy struct that implements a bunch of useful traits kind of standard library. And in our case we care عندنا الغرض ان احنا cursor which is something that you can think about it like a شي حاجة اللي can have اللي has a pointer and can go through like a bunch of data bytes. في هذا الكيس عندنا هذا الكرسور هذا كيمبليمونتي واحد التريت اللي سميتو buff read. هاد التريت هذا كيعطينا واحد الميثود سميتها lines which means we can iterate through a bunch of lines which is exactly what we want for this use case. So let cursor equals this, right? هذا هو الكرسور ديالنا. And the cursor could give us lines, right? We can convert it into lines and then head lines هذا we want to map each line, right, into something. So line itself is a result, so we need to unwrap it. Hit lines كتعطينا an iterator of a bunch of results. So let line equals line unwrap, right? And في هذا الكيس هذا بغينا نشدو هاد اللاين ونكونفيرتيوه to a play. Ideally we can do play dot from line, right? And this will give us a play. وهذه a hand. And then هاد الهاند بغينا نردوها from a score. Oh, not this, right? بغينا ناخدو غير السكور ديالها. And كيما درنا في episode 1, we just want the sum of this, right? So اللي باقي لنا دابا من هادشي كامل حنا let total equals this, هذا هو التوتال, but we need to have this method. And كاين واحد impl from string for play, كاين واحد trait that we can implement اللي هو هذا كنديرو نكريو a play from a string. So instead this is not a value, let's say it's a line, and split, if we split on the white space and we collect to a string, to a vec of something, this will give us the parts نتاع داك string. حقاش حنا قسمناهم to a multiple white spaces. And now to create a play, right? Let's do self. Me, I'll need a move that has parts 0 dot to string, right? And him would have the same for part 1. And here we'll just collect it to a bunch of things. Okay. Right. I don't think this is necessary. It can the compiler can infer this. So from a string, we had a line هذا, we were able to create a play struct. وهذا play دابا هذه كتعرف compute score ديال whatever happened here, right? So now we have the total. All we have to do is print the total. The total is total, right? So خدينا كاع اللاينز وكل لاين شديناه unwrappيناه because it's a result. رديناه to a play, and then the play now we just computed the score نتاع داك البلاي. Yeah, another thing is that أنا هو واحد وهم هي زيرو. علاش؟ حيت حنا هما اللي right column و the adversary هو left, as opposed to شنو قلت قبيله. Alright. Cargo run bin day 2. Oh no. Okay, we have an out of bounds exception in 48. Alright, so for some parts, apparently, ما عندناش two parts. So let's try and debug parts. Let's not just borrow it. Okay, so parts في هذا الكيس هذا كان فيها just 1000. Ooh, I guess yeah. I'm using the wrong file here, so it's day 2. And I guess it should be fine now. Day 2. Alright, so day 2 now has 15. You see like how many parts اللي جنرينا? Like AY, BX, and CZ. Right? هادو هما البارتس اللي جنرينا. And then for each one of them كرينا منهم كرينا a game row. And the result was 15. Right? Alright, so let's try and see and download the actual thing. Source, no, it's in day2.txt. It's like 2,500 games. It's a lot of games. And let's run. Oh, actually, let's do sample and run, and the result is 9,759. Right. So let's see, did we get it correct? All right, we got it correctly. So that was part 1 ديال البروبلم. Let's see شنو قالوا لنا نديرو في part 2. So the help finish with the sentence sneaks back over to you. The second column says the round needs to end. X means you need to lose. Y means you need to end the round in a draw. And Z means you need to win. Good luck. The total score is still calculated in the same way, but now you need to figure out what shape to choose so the round ends as indicated. The example above now goes like this. In the first round, your opponent will choose rock, and you need the round to end in a draw. حيت إلا قال لك Y, then in that case you need to end in a draw. في الكيس هذا قال لك you need to end in a draw. وهو اختار opponent اختار A. So if you wanted the game to end in a draw, just choose the same thing. Turns out you need to choose a rock, and this gives you the score of 1 plus 3. If the second round, your opponent will choose paper and you choose a rock, so you lose. X, you need to lose. And then if you need to win, they'll tell you what you need to win. So now, instead of like يقولوا لك شنو اختاريتي, now يقولوا لك شنو خصك تختار, so that the game outcome will change, right? So in this case, can just apply what you had, but now إلا قال لك Y, it means that you need to win. So if you know شنو هو الانبوت اللي جاك انت, all you have to do is that assume that you won. I mean, I can assume that I won, ولكن خصني شنو هي what beats this thing, right? All right, we can do this. So كون كانوا قالوا لنا كنحسبوا غير في السكور غير what we needed to win, we can just like إلا قالوا لك win, you just assume you won. إلا قالوا لك lose, you just assume you lose. إلا قالوا لك شي حاجة أخرى, you just assume everything else, right? But now you need to also تعرف شنو هي الموف اللي غتربحك ولا اللي غتخسرك ولا اللي غتديك لذاك الاوتكم. So we would like to add this to our existing code minimal changes. Okay, so what I'm thinking is there are a couple of ideas, ولكن الحاجة اللي غتجيني like will have less disruption هي انني نأسيومي ان الجيم بقات كيما هي, نخلي الجيم كيما هي, ولكن I change how I interpret the creation ديال الموف ديالي أنا, so that I make it what it needs to be, and then نكمل الجيم, right? So what I mean by this is بحال دابا أنا شحال هادي كانت كتجيني okay, so A Y كنت كنمشي كنقول so this is rock, this is scissors. I can compute this, كنمشي لذاك التيبل ديالي كنكمبيوتي 0 scissors is no this is paper, this is 1 هذه كتعطيني باللي حيت انا غلبت this will give me like I don't know, give me 3. This will give me 6 حيت انا غلبت مثلا. But now إلا عطاوني A وعطاوني Y, it means باللي قالوا لي you need to draw. So هاد الواي هادي قبل ما نعطيها نولي نردها لهاد البروسيس هذا, I'll need to give it to transform it into another A ولا in this case an X. So I'll say that it's an AX, and then هاد الاوتبوت هذا itself إلا كملتو غنلعب به normal, so غيعطيني 0 0 which is a draw, غيعطيني 3, and the value اللي اختاريت انا since هنا اختاريت x غتزاد بواحد ديال value, and this will give me 4. So my code itself doesn't change, خصني غير نبدل l'interprétation ديال y نردها so now it means بلا x, and this will probably has the least amount of change to my code. So let's see how to implement this. All right, so let's say I have a move fn. What about we make a function اللي كتعطيني شنو هي الموف اللي غتغلبني, right? beats, right? If I give you a self, right, and consommer راسي, so I consume the actual move, what's the move that beats me? It'll return another, actually not beats me. I don't need beats me. كل مرة شنو غنبغي? I'll need to kind of like apply a function to something. So what I want is I'll need kind of a transformation. Like I'll need a fn, let's call it transform. Let's take self, and it should take another move, which is the target or the command اللي جا قالنا الالف, and this should transform the current move. So let's transform it here and it to make it easier to reason about, right? So if I match on command dot 0, and I do the, oh, it's better yet. Let me match on command dot index. So I have 0, I have 1, I have 2, and I have something that is unreachable again, right? So if it's 1, so self dot 0 equals I want to, right, so let me make sure بالراني كندير هادشي اللي باغي ندير هو هذاك. So I have so enough, let's say I'm in X and they want me to transform, so and I want to transform and I want to draw the game against A. Ooh, this has 2 states. ماشي غير one. Do I need self? I don't think I need self. It doesn't matter what I think. All it matters is that I want the actual command, right? I want another move, which is the command, and another move, which is the opponent. And then I'll yield another move, right? So let's see. So if the command is telling me to draw, so no, X is lose. So I guess what is draw? It's Y. Okay. So let's play draw. All right. So here, if the command is telling me to draw, I'll just have to match the opponent dot index as well and see, okay, what is, if he has 0, I'll just return a move from X. If it's 1, all right. So this is what I should return. So إذا كان الكمان كتقول لي okay please إذا كانت الكمان كتقول لي please إذا كانت الكمان كتقول لي please you should draw in that case شنو ما كان عنده خصني نرد في حاله, right? خص يكون عندي the same. If instead كتقول لي ربح, if I need to win إذا كان هو عنده 0 which means إذا عنده هو paper, no, rocks, I should play paper, which is P. Paper is Y. إذا كان هو عنده paper أنا خص يكون عندي scissors, which is Z. Otherwise يكون عندي X, right? إذا كانت lose, however, I should do the other way. In this case, if I had to lose, you know, and do a paper, and do a rock, I'll need to have scissors. like أنا هو عنده a paper أنا خص يكون عندي if I wanted to lose هو عنده paper أنا خص يكون عندي rock which is so هو عنده rock أنا خص يكون عندي paper which is x y وهنا x وهنا z no هو عنده z x أنا خص يكون عندي إذا كان هو عنده paper أنا خص يكون عندي rocks هادشي كيدوخ شوية yeah rock هو إذا كان عنده rock I should have scissors to lose وإذا كان عنده هو anything else اللي هي paper scissors أنا خص يكون عندي paper anything else should be unreachable كما ديما okay alright so هادشي اللي كاين هادي اللي غترانسفورمي دابا فاش كنجي لهنا I compute هاد الموف هادي بوحدها أنا هادي هي الموف ديالي right let me equals this is my move but I need to move transform so the command is now it's me and then my opponent which is him is this right and now this is me again him right so now that I transformed what I wanted دابا رجعت so my move ولات هي the thing that the command wants me to do I can now just print him كيما بغيت and the game now can continue so let's try it on the sample alright now it gives 15 which is wrong okay it is wrong so let's see let's debug what's in me and him okay let's make move derive debug so that we can use it with the debug trait okay so now me is x and him is a so in this case we yielded draw me and him again now I should in the first game what should I do let's back up here so the first game in the first round we should also choose rock so what did I choose so in the first game he chose a rock I chose rock as well in the second game choose paper and you should choose rock but I chose scissors in the second round your opponent will choose paper and you choose rock so you lose what was the input it was B and X now since it's an X oh X is a draw. So what's a draw now? X means you need to lose. Okay. So now X is lose. Ooh, that's a mistake. So X is lose. So X is lose. And Y means draw. And Z means win. Oh, wow. Now it's correct, I guess. That's on me for reading the problem incorrectly. Let's try and read the full sample. All right. This looks slightly bigger, but let's see. Hooray! This actually solves the problem. Okay, now we completed day 2. Let's do a quick change. This looks ugly, I know, but I claimed before that Rust is not the best for doing this. I mean, we could have probably gotten away with trying to make a better looking state machine, but let's look at this. So what we changed here when نزلنا هذا المove, and then we transformed my move, which is now a command. It's not a me anymore. So I mean, we can look at it like this. This is CMD instead of me, right? This is the command that we get. We get that we need to move, we need to lose, we need to win, or we need to draw. And then what the opponent has. And then this function would create a new move in such a way that we do the command. ومن ما كنكملوا الجيم. We assume we just complete the game normally. And هنايا we just create the score as normal, and then we get the size. So not a lot of changes in there. All right. This will sum up day 2. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment, or just ask away in the Moroccan Rustations group on Facebook. Other than that, I'll see you in the next one.